Welcome to the Outlander Unhinged podcast, where we talk deep dives, wild theories, and the heart of Outlander. I'm Doreen.
I'm Liz.
I'm Jenny.
And I'm Katie. Grab your snacks, Sassenachs. It's time to talk about Outlander.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 24 of the Outlander Unhinged podcast. Yes, we have made it this far, and we are so happy to be here. We're just going to jump right in today. So, Jenny, tell us a little bit about the topic.
Today's topic is Soul of a Rebel. It's the first episode of the last season of Outlander.
Oh,
Last season.
When you say it like that, it sounds so devastating.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not the end. But, man, I can't believe we're already here. So... For starters, I think I'll go first. We're all going to say one sentence how we felt about this first episode. Then we're going to go through the storylines and just kind of dive in.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hated this episode. I thought that it was completely rushed. I think that they introduced nonsensical storylines, and I did not like anything about the episode.
Wow.
I was not expecting that at all.
I wasn't either.
Okay. Liz, you go ahead.
How do I follow that? I very much enjoyed the episode. I am feeling hopeful about the season. There were definitely some things that I hoped wouldn't be in there. But generally speaking, I really enjoyed it. I did.
Okay. Jenny?
I texted Doreen, should I go to the doctor and have my head checked? Because I was questioning storylines. Like, did I forget this? Is this what happened here? This isn't what is happening. Like, I'm not kidding. I don't have a good review of it. It's not that I don't want to say I hated it, but I'm pretty close to that. My biggest concern is that they are wrecking Outlander for Blood of My Blood. And I'm not happy with that. Yeah.
Okay,
so
Katie,
this
what
sucked.
about you? And I want to preface this really quick before Katie starts. I am not basing this on being a book reader. I am separating. So yes, a lot of it does there's aspects of it being a book problem, but it's bigger problems. I just want to clarify that. Okay, Katie, go ahead.
I liked it. I loved it. Except, the Faith storyline, which we'll all talk about here in a little bit, but I hated that. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. I liked meeting the new characters. I don't know.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's start at the beginning. That opening scene.
A very good place to start at the beginning. Yes.
To me, first of all, and I will say this, you guys already know this because it was in season 7.
Mm-hmm.
What they've done here is condensed a couple of things. So Jane and Fanny, the whole story of how they were sold to the brothel and their parents were killed on the ship, that actually does all happen. The way the information is gathered is different in the book, but the fact that they just randomly had Claire opening scene kill some guy with no context other than, oh, he killed Faith. And then 10 minutes later, they're just sitting at a table with Marsali and all them like nothing happened was wild business. Claire drilled into the brain. This is not a book thing. This is a show only synopsis right now.
Yeah.
Because don't even get me started on how wrong that is from the book. But Claire drilled into the brain of a man who had almost raped her. to save his life because she took an oath to do no harm.
Mhm.
And in the books, she is responsible for helping someone in an aided suicide. Fine. But the thought of just even show Claire killing someone and then no problem, whether they murdered her daughter or not, is just nonsensical to me.
I can totally see it from that
I
perspective.
see, I see
can.
that. And
I will
also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I will say, I just wanted to say, I don't know if this is what you were going to say also, but when Katie and I initially watched the episode, we were so incredibly confused because we didn't know what we were watching. We thought we were getting a random scene. Maybe it was something that didn't have anything to do with the first episode. We did not know what we were watching.
It started, and I
confused.
honestly thought, because when we went in, I was like, oh, sweet, we're getting to watch the first episode. And then when they started it, there's no like previously on. We didn't get that. They went straight into the episode.
Right.
And so when that started, I was like, oh man, we're not getting the first episode. We're just getting a snippet of like, a scene from a season. And then the theme song came on and I'm like, what? And I was so confused.
Yeah.
And I did feel like that part was very rushed and not explained well. Rewatching it this morning, I did understand, but I feel like if you're watching for the first time and have no idea you haven't read the books, you don't know the storyline.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be very confusing as we were confused.
But that's not a storyline in the book. That's made up for the show. I mean, Fanny and Jane's parents' death is the same and the information is provided, but not in that context. Is that how
that's why I started texting. I'm like, what is happening? What the hell is this? And these are literally my notes. That's a wild jump to go from killing someone over faith to being blissfully happy. So her oath went right out the window, and I don't want to hear it's a mother's rage. She's never met Jane. They don't even know for sure if it was faith, because we still don't really know how this is going to play out. And then I have, I don't want to hear it's a mother's rage. Brianna was raped and kidnapped. And she was like, oh, Jamie, I forgot to tell you. Like, what the hell happened there? It was just the most bizarre. Yeah, I was not happy with that.
That's a good point, knowing what Stephen Bonnet did. And she was still against killing him.
Right. So now she's a murderer. I just think it was.
And that was it for 2 minutes. She was a murderer, and then they were just hanging out with
Jamie,
Fergus.
I love you, and let's go to bed. Like, it was
strange.
It was wild. And I think this entire storyline is to connect it to Blood of My Blood. And I don't know that I will watch a second season of that, because to me, they're giving up the ending of Outlander how it should be for the benefit of a show that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, like we were talking about, they just kind of jump to, well, actually, in that moment, and this is interesting, they brought up when Faith was conceived, and Jamie brought up that moment in the window. Jenny is the one who kind of reminded me of this. And Jenny, do you want to share why you think that was brought up?
So Katie and I both caught onto in the show with Jamie on the battlefield having that vision that we think it's Rupert that pulled him out of that moment. So a while back, we did a compilation of our Jamie ghost theories. Do you guys remember that on the Google Doc? So I have in there that moment being so very important to him, where he told her he loved her in that windowsill. And when you jump to the battlefield where he's, hallucinating, dying, that's that same shift that Claire is wearing. And she's walking the battlefield, and they went right back to that. So I do think that is an important storyline that may come back at the end. So we'll see what happens. I was kind of excited for that. It was like one thing.
I love that. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah,
that
was a nice parallel for sure.
Yeah.
So I just felt after that, we see them and they're visiting Fergus and Marsali and all of them. And I don't want to be critical because I think they're all great actors, but that scene felt so oddly forced to me, almost as if they were trying to give everyone 2 seconds of screen time to make sure we saw everyone was there. And it was so awkward how Claire went from murdering someone to making cookies.
Right.
And they were forcing these conversations. And they tried to make this moment of Jamie and Fergus having a moment over bonding with the printing press. And it felt so flat to me. I felt nothing in that
Oh.
moment. And Stacy reads on TikTok. You guys know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
She had made a video back when the trailer
Yeah.
came out. And she said, Doreen, to expand on what you were saying about Fergus's sign, it talks about what kind of printing press he uses. And she had all this history on the printing press. And so when she told us about that, we thought it was really interesting. But then they used a different printing press they had it on the sign in the show, but then they used a different one inside of the printing press. And little things, that is so stupid, but little things like that bother me.
Yeah.
Because it's lazy. So
Mm.
I just felt that was a token moment that we had to just see Fergus and Marsali were back. Let's focus on Henri. And okay, now we're out of here. We're back to the Ridge. How did you guys feel about that scene?
Well,
I thought it was the same thing. Like here's Marsali, boop, boop, exit stage left. Here's Fergus, boop, boop, exit stage left. Lizzie, boop, 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 hello. And then she was gone. Like it was just very season 6, if you guys remember. It was during COVID. Katrina was pregnant. So everything was very compact. And I feel like that's what's happening here.
They did all look gorgeous. I will give them that. The
Agreed.
costuming
Agreed.
is
Phenomenal.
unbelievable.
And I love Lauren Lyle.
Yeah,
I
the
want to ask
costuming
a
is
question
phenomenal.
before I answer. I'm just curious. I don't know if this is a spoiler question, but is the type of printing press used in the books, is that of like huge significance?
Yeah,
in the
because
books?
Fergus only has one hand, and the way that he is able to work as a printer greatly depends on what kind of printing press he's using to make sense for having one hand.
Okay.
But
So
even
when
in the show, they have the right one on the sign and then the wrong one inside. So why do that?
So when Fergus asked for help with the printing press, it was because he literally needed help with the printing press. Is that what it was?
He shouldn't need help because he has a printing press that should work for him.
Got it. Okay.
Though
That's
it kind of
interesting.
is nonsensical in the books too. It's kind of a bad storyline. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. So I think for me with Faith, I just want to jump back to the Faith storyline really quickly. I feel like there was a lot left out of when we last saw Jamie and Claire at the end of season 7 to what we saw right in the beginning of season 8. We're not privy to any of the conversations that Jamie and Claire might have had, any of her thoughts that she might have had. We don't know what happened between leaving Monmouth and then getting to where they were at that moment in time.
In a shack killing people.
Well, I mean, I think there's two different things. I think we should hone in and spend a lot of time really talking about Faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then that scene is a different.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
For sure. Yes. The way I did interpret it was because you could almost hear like thoughts or words repeating in Claire's mind that it was almost driving her mad in that moment. And so she just became overcome with anger and emotion. And I don't know that I would call it mother's rage. Maybe I would, but I don't know that it is. I think in that moment she was just purely angered and devastated and overcome by whatever she was feeling. And that is exactly what happened. We saw what happened.
Can I add too that, and I totally get where you guys are coming from. That was also like you guys brought up when Stephen Bonnet attacked Bree. Her reaction was also before she had been raped by Lionel Brown and his crew. So I think that incident really changed who she was too.
Yeah.
But even then she didn't want to kill them because Jamie said she took an oath to do no harm. But I took no such oath. So
right. But she didn't even kill the main brother that they captured. So, and that was when she was at arguably her worst.
Mm-hmm.
I would just think anyone, and I'm not saying this critically, would hate that the show, because again, this does not happen in the books. I hate to be that person because this is not based on
This
the
is
book.
not going to be easy.
And it's not easy because
yeah.
we were on the phone for an hour trying to determine what you guys knew, what you guys didn't know, what was in the show. We were like rewatching episodes trying to figure out, was this in the show? Was this in the book? Because we didn't want to spoil things. So this is really hard. I don't want anyone to think we're idiots. We're trying hard to separate and be delicate, but
it's this is
as
crazy.
a whole, taking out the show, taking out the book, the reason this infuriates me is because the show is destroying who Claire is. Whether that's her book character or her show character, they are showing that she went against her oath. She cannot control her emotions, and she murdered a man in cold blood and had no qualms about it. She doesn't even talk about it. She doesn't even seem sorry. That is not Claire. Trauma, and I'm sorry, it's not Claire.
It's a valid point.
I feel like that kind of behavior is sociopathic, and that's not who she is. So you just went from killing someone to, like you said, baking cookies. Doesn't connect.
It's a good point because so they go back to what I'm assuming is Fergus and Marsali's, and she's taking off her clothes to get into her shift, and she says, I should have taken longer to kill him or something like that.
Yes.
Like he didn't deserve to die that quickly. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I just didn't think of it that way, that's just not something Claire would do.
And I know we keep saying it's not easy, and we're trying our best to separate the book and the show. And I was a show watcher first, then went into the books. But I do want to say it really isn't easy, having spent so many hours reading and listening to these books. The reason a show is made a show from a book is because of the success of the book, and to deviate so much with characters and with this Claire storyline, and there's others that it's
hard.
I don't know. I'm concerned moving forward.
I feel that they dropped so many storylines last night. It was like whiplash, and I'm fearful. It felt so rushed. I mean, the amount of things that were happening, we should have we're going to get to that. Sorry. Did everybody give their review of this Faith and Fergus? I mean, this Fergus and Marsali scene? You guys did not.
Let me add in one more thing. It will build up to where we're going with this. Jamie says at the end, and we'll get to that, that war is coming to the backcountry in less than a year. So we have to fit in a year in less than 9 episodes. Yep. That's insane to me. So I'm sorry.
There's going to be a lot of time.
No, that's a good point.
For sure.
That's a good point.
There are.
Yeah.
So for Fergus and Marsali, I loved seeing the children. I thought that scene with Jamie going to the door and tiptoeing because he heard their giggles outside the door. I thought it was so cute. I thought it was very grandpa and grandma, Jamie and Claire. I enjoyed it, and I loved their excitement, and I thought it was a nice family moment. It was nice after everything we saw toward the end of season 7 and all of the trauma and heartache and fear and just terrible things that were happening toward the end of season 7, for them to have that moment together as a family. So it was a brief moment of bliss. And I say brief because I know it's going to be very short-lived with joy and peace and all of those things throughout the season. But I think I really wanted to kind of take it in, and it was so nice to see Henri Christian there a little bit older. It was nice to see Fanny there a little bit older, all the children there a little bit older. I thought they all looked great, and it was a really nice, lovely family moment.
Yeah, I love Marsali and Fergus.
I think for me, I was just so excited to have Fergus and Marsali back. It was just nice to see them reunited all together for me, and I think that's what I focused on.
I get that, and I see that. I think it was just hard for me because I'm thinking they're waking up the next day after Claire just murdered someone. It was hard for me, and that's what I mean when I say it was so rushed, because I felt like everything was just happening boom, 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 checking boxes, make sure this person's on screen, make sure this is introduced, that we couldn't properly sit with any of the events that were taking place. if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
It does.
Because then you go right from there. They're traveling back to the ridge. And that was the same thing. All of a sudden, it just felt, okay, Ian's here. Okay, check. Lizzie's here. Check. Oh, let's get Rachel on screen. Check. Everyone has to have a line so we see everyone's here. And I don't want to say, I feel kind of bad. I came in hot and I said the acting was terrible. And that is not about the actors, because they're working with what they have. It's hard to portray emotion and be excited when you have one line or 3 minutes to do this entire scene. So I just think things deserved a little bit more. So unlike you all know this, Katie already took the spoiler and Liz knows, Jamie builds the new big house in the books, and it's a huge part of the story. And I'm sad about that. But again, this is a perfect example of how I can understand they had to have the house there for the story to move forward. We only have 10 episodes. It makes sense. It's fine.
It makes sense. I was just so sad because I was like, Jamie is the kind of person that would want to build it, you know? And they did like a time lapse with the cabin when he was building the cabin. And I'm just like, why couldn't they have done something like that? But I get that it's more time to spend when they don't have it. So I understand. But I was like, no, I was like 1,000% sure Jamie built the house. And I was like,
I remember talking with all of you and saying, I wonder in the show if they're going to have the house already built by the time Jamie and Claire get back, and who might have done that, because Jamie specifically asked Lizzie and the Beardsley boys to watch that plot of land when they were leaving. So I was curious as to how that was going to play out. And then it was nice to get the story behind that in the show. Obviously, it was very meaningful to have young Ian, Jamie's nephew, overseeing the building of the house and getting other people on the ridge involved. It was really beautiful. I am definitely looking forward to reading Jamie's story of building the house in the books, but I think for the purposes of the show, I really did like that young Ian was responsible for building the house.
And
Yeah,
my
I did
immediate
too.
thought was, I'm not building a house for anybody. I'm going to build my own fucking house. Are you serious?
they're getting ready to have a baby.
Right. Like, I'm going to build you a mansion
Priorities.
and I'm living in a shack by the river. Get out of here. Honestly, that was what I thought. You can build your own fucking house, Jamie. Always
But
for
they
the
had to
people.
They had to have someone build it, and it would make sense that it would be Ian, because who else would it be,
Oh,
right?
I'm
At that
glad it
point.
was
Yeah.
Ian. Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. Had to play out that way, and I'm happy with the way they did it, because it couldn't have been anyone else. It should have been
No.
Ian. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that they did that.
Yeah.
And I think something that I will just say is very significant that they introduced that most people probably missed, but is very important to pay attention to going into these storylines, is how large and how much land they actually have and how many people are settled there at this point,
Yeah.
and how they don't even know a lot of the residents, and that loyalists were hung right on Jamie's property and they don't know who did it. And this is all very significant for
Okay.
upcoming storylines. So just
Okay.
maybe anyone who didn't realize that that was being kind of focused on, just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
which then I guess we could go to, we get them at the trading post, and this, they see Amy,
Amy, what's her face at this point? Like,
Amy McCallum.
I loved
Amy
seeing
Lindsay.
the trading post. I loved seeing it because it really shows how much the Ridge has flourished while they
I
were
don't
gone.
like Hiram Crombie, and I will never like Hiram
No,
Crombie.
I don't. I
Same.
don't
like, boo.
Yeah.
I don't
Bye.
like him, but I loved
Get out.
seeing it there. I did. I really loved seeing how vibrant the Ridge seemed with more people settling there. It was really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
good instincts, Katie, good instincts.
Well, what was that, last season, or was it season 6 when he was against them and
Yeah.
trying to get
season
them
6,
killed?
we don't
Literally.
forget that.
Terrible. He was
No.
terrible.
get off
And
my
now
land.
he's trying to position himself into a place of power. Just remember that.
Mhm.
So,
Mm.
what did you all think of the new character that you were introduced to, Captain Cunningham? We'll come back to Amy, because me and Jenny need time to cool down, I think.
I'm nervous about him because I feel like he's kind of, and now that you've said that about Hiram Crombie, like he's trying to put himself in a position of power. He's the financial backer of Hiram Crombie with this trading post.
Mhm.
So that just makes me nervous that he's buddies with him and he's financed this thing for him. So it's like, what else are you guys going to try to do together? And he, he was a loyalist. So I don't know.
What do you think about him, Liz? She thinks he's hot.
I do.
I was just gonna say.
I mean, he is. Fair point.
So cute and he's so attractive and I just love the air that he has about him. I don't trust him though. I do not trust him. I do think that there's absolutely more to him because he is working with Hiram and that's got to be bad news bears off the bat. But he's a cutie patootie, definitely.
He's not how I pictured him, really.
Not
but
at all.
Not bad.
No, he
Did
doesn't
they make
match.
him better looking in the show than he's described in the books?
I think it's just how you envision them. Like,
Yeah, because I thought it was pretty accurate, but Jenny thought he was older, right?
No, I
Oh.
thought he was more clean cut. I thought he was going to be more like a Lord John Grey, very pristine, very well dressed, just manicured. And I saw this in the upcoming scenes, and I was like, "Who the hell is this hobo? Like, what is happening here?"
So apparently I'm attracted to hobos.
To hobos.
Which makes
You and me
hobos
both.
Listen,
You
hobos
have-
are bad men. We got John Quincy living in trees.
I
We
also
got
love
the
that
hobo.
mountain man.
I know. He's living in the woods. Come on, Liz.
I want to give you a spoiler that's not detrimental or anything. I want to give it to you so bad because I want to tell you. I guess I won't give you the spoiler, but I will say that John Quincy Myers should have been.
He should have been. And
in
I'm
a scene,
hugely
and he was cut.
I'm hugely because I have a whole
Health.
video on it.
He
Whole
should have
video
been
on
what?
his importance.
He should have been. I'll tell you guys if you want to know, but he should have been in a very important scene in the episode. Do you want me to tell you?
Oh, I don't care.
Yes, because
It's
we're
not
not
going to
getting
ruin
it.
your reading journey.
I love that mountain man. Wait, say it again.
He is the one who gifts Claire the beehive.
All right,
And-
let me go down a rabbit hole with this. John Quincy is a parallel character to John the Baptist, who was Jesus's cousin. He lived in the woods, he lived on honey, and he is a messenger. John Quincy's job is literally to bring the mail.
I'm literally
And so
gonna
he is a
cry.
messenger in that moment to Claire.
Wow.
About something coming.
I
Yeah,
love
he-
John Quincy so much in the books
And
and the
this
show, and I'm
scene-
so upset that they did that now. I'm sorry. I didn't think I was going to cry, but I'm
That's
so
okay.
upset.
Cry it
It's a
out. You
big-
should
I'm
be
so
because
upset.
you should be because I'm telling you, the scene in the
I'm
book
not
is.
laughing. I'm just
I'm
like,
so upset because I love him so much.
I
He's-
think
he's
this
a-
maybe will help you guys understand why Jenny and I are so upset.
like so
Mm-hmm.
upset. When I tell you, whether you choose to watch the video now, you'll see it. John Quincy's right in the video. You'll know it's that video, and it's
Mm-hmm.
such an important part.
Mm.
Yeah,
hugs
virtual
on
That
the
hugs.
honestly makes me so upset. That
Virtual
makes me
hugs.
So
Virtual
upset
hugs.
because he
Virtual.
even has like such a bigger role in the books that I've read
Yes.
so far, and
Mhm.
I can't believe that he's not there.
Yeah, he's a messenger for Claire in this moment.
Wow.
And if you guys want the spoiler, I have a video going up today with exactly how he delivers the beehive and the blessing that he reads to Claire. And it is the most beautiful. So let me just show you in my book. Okay. Hold on a second. Where is it?
running. I'm
I can download it and I can repost it, right?
Yes, you can. It's a perfect time.
That was
Okay,
a
I just
shock
would like
me.
to show you guys. This is the
My
moment,
gosh.
and go tell the bees that I am gone. Look at how much annotations I have. That's how beautiful this moment is.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal.
It's
Well,
a big
I mean,
deal.
the title of the book is Go Tell the Bees That I'm Gone. So apparently bees are very important.
So to just have Jamie give her the beehive was a slap in the face.
It was,
I'm not
it
gonna
was
lie.
Lizzie. It was
Lizzie gave her the bees.
Oh yeah, whatever. See, I didn't even.
Oh, here's Lizzie, exit stage left. Here's a Beardsley baby, exit stage right. Like,
Yeah, see, I don't even know. I was like, okay, who gave that? Okay, hold on, wait, the beehive is here. What the fuck just happened? So now you guys have a little insight. Poor Liz, I'm giving you virtual hugs. You have a
Yes,
little insight
absolutely.
of kind of
So
how hard this
upsetting and
is.
disappointing. Like, these are
Welcome.
characters that I root for. I root
Yes.
for them. I
Yes.
fall in love with them. I get attached to them. I just can't believe that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me ask a question real quick. Are you guys okay with us filling in these important parts as they come up?
I'm telling you guys, it's not going to kill your reading journey.
We're not going to give you.
I know, I'm not gonna
I
give
was
you
going to
big
say
ones.
if it would take away from like the shock value of reading the later books
No.
for the
I
first
mean,
time, then like
No, like we'll do it if we do it episode by episode. One, it will relieve our stress.
because yes, we are so
Like, 'cause-
stressed. We were having a panic attack before we recorded, both of
Oh
us.
my
We
God,
were having a
no.
meltdown. We were so scared we were going to ruin something. We were
Oh,
scared that people
no.
were
Because
going to think we were morons. Like
Previously, tell me if I'm wrong, but as long as it's been shown in the shows, you guys were good with talking about stuff.
yes.
Okay. That makes it look,
Yes.
I'm not kidding.
Yes.
I was like, I can't keep track of the
Yeah.
dogs.
And
No.
I hate
you
to
know.
be that way, like I really do, and I hate it for you guys, but I think my issues is that since I'm a content creator, I get so many spoilers, right,
Right.
already. And so the books are so different, and I just wanted to kind of have that to myself to be like, oh, I discovered this and I didn't, I didn't know this was going to happen. And that's been my reading journey so far. And I love like texting you guys like, oh, I found
Yes.
this out and blah, 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 blah.
But little things like how we just did that, saying, hey, it's
that's-
John Quincy Myers. There's a
Okay.
blessing. Wait till you guys see how it's relevant. That
Yeah.
isn't going to take away from anything.
That was
No.
Okay.
That was fine, and I'm glad that you told me because now I'm equally fucking pissed off. So
See? Okay, so let's
now
talk
I'm
about
equally
Amy
fucking
Higgins.
because how can you take out my mountain man? Oh my god,
Yes,
Right?
Amy
Okay.
Higgins.
Amy, what's
okay,
her face?
so-
As Jamie
What's
calls
her face?
And this is so
Jenny.
crazy
Amy,
because-
what's her face?
Amy McCallum. I'm actually not that pissed about this because I think logistically it makes sense because they couldn't introduce a whole new character, which is her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And so they married her to, what is that brother's name?
Evan Lindsay,
Evan
cutie
Lindsay.
patootie,
Lindsay.
Evan Lindsay.
Liz loves all these men.
That
man
very
is-
handsome though.
I didn't even find myself looking at him, but because I think so she does have a different husband in the book, and there's a huge storyline with that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
okay.
I when I saw that she was going to be introduced, I think Jenny and I can both attest to, we know there's going to be some scenes that we weren't sure about coming.
Mm-hmm.
So who they have her married to isn't really relevant to that.
Yeah,
Mhm,
it doesn't. It didn't
mhm.
change
So
anything.
I'm not that mad about it, but it was
Mm.
just another example of how rushed everything is. And then it confirmed we weren't going to get other very significant characters that we love.
And look, they set it
Mhm.
up that way in season 6. He was, if people don't remember, Roger caught him and Malva having sex in the church. And
That Malva.
she threatened Roger, and Bree was upset that he was spending so much time over at Amy's house fixing things up, and they set Lindsay up with her, so it made sense. And like you said, Doreen, it didn't deviate from the storyline that we believe is coming. Yeah, I can't be mad at them for that. It had to be condensed.
But
I'll be pissed about the other stuff.
we have to stop calling her Amy Higgins. We have to call her Amy Lindsay now.
Lindsay, stupid. I'm
Amy
calling her
Lindsay.
Amy Lindsay.
That's a,
Amy, whatever. Amy.
this is kind of out of order.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I want to go back really quick. Did you guys like the way that the new big house looked, though? The overall look of it?
I did.
I did
I
too.
thought it was very like modern for the time. It looked like more modern for the time.
It
to
didn't
me.
look like I pictured it would.
No, I don't think so either, and I think they're leaving out the 3rd story of the house. It doesn't appear that it has a 3rd floor, does it?
Is that where he brought
No.
what's her face though?
Fanny.
No, he brought her
The
to
other
the
Fanny?
2nd floor.
It looked like it was only up one level of a staircase, unless there is a 3rd floor and they just dipped over the second.
it
But
is
it looked like
supposed to
they
be
just went up
massive.
the stairs and just went up there.
If that house is supposed to be massive,
Wow.
Yeah.
massive, and the 3rd floor is a huge plot
Storyline.
point. Yeah, huge
Oh,
storyline.
wow.
Yeah,
I noticed
so
the windows were very large in that house also. Like
That's a storyline
huge
too, actually.
windows.
Okay, so let's skip to the other new character that you were introduced to, Amaranthis, Viscountess Grey.
Cannot stand her.
Let's let them go in blind and tell us their initial
Yes.
thoughts of her.
Initial thought was this bitch. No.
Not
How
my
dare
William.
she talk to my William that way?
Like Molly Weasley.
No.
Not my William.
And he's like, he will forever be little Willie to me.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
Charles is such a handsome man,
Mhm.
and I love the character, but I just can't look at him and be like,
Yeah,
yes.
same.
Because
Same.
I saw him as
Same.
just the same for me as Ian.
Ian.
You know, John is a gorgeous man, love his character. I just can't see him as anything other than 16-year-old young Ian.
Same.
I
I love his
but
hair.
yeah,
back.
I don't know. I was just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't love her at first. But then when he went to apologize to her, I don't know. I kind of felt bad for her because that is a shitty situation to be put in, that you just got married and had this baby and your husband's dead and you have nothing now. So
Katie,
I felt I
you-
did feel bad for her.
Katie, have you met Ben in the Lord John novellas yet?
No, I'm pretty sure I haven't.
Okay.
I don't think you
No.
would have. Not yet. I
I don't
remember you
think
meeting Dottie.
Well, so the most recent one that I just read, Dottie was born.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's where I'm kind of at.
But you guys have an understanding that's Hal's son, and the son's
Yes.
Amaranthis is his widow. Okay. Just
Yes.
making sure.
Lord John was cute with the baby. I will give him that.
Oh,
He
and
was-
you
That
know
was
what
really
I kept
sweet.
thinking about is the Lord John novellas where he keeps getting involved with babies.
Right.
Yes.
And he hates it.
Mhm.
I was
I didn't like the scene because it's
See
all
how
within
hard
that
it
same
is
scene.
to
That
separate?
yeah, very hard. With where William threw up in the vase. I thought that was really slapstick. Like it just I don't know. Did anybody else feel that? I just felt like that was like
It felt
I
very
was-
out of place for
It was
it's
Outlander.
very out of character.
I think just for emphasis that he had gotten himself so inebriated to the point that he barfed in his father's vase in his house.
Yeah, it didn't sit right with me.
think,
I don't
you
know.
Yeah. For me, is it Amarantha or Amaranthis?
Amaranthis.
Amaranthis. So I thought that she was a little ball of fire when I first met her. Like, who do you think you're going to talk about like that, kind sir? I think she had every right to be upset because look at everything that she had just gone through. And William also had gone through a ton of things, but that doesn't give an excuse to talk about someone in that way. I did enjoy their scene together. I think they shared a little moment of peace together. They're both grieving different things at the same time. You know, she obviously is grieving the loss of her husband and her child not having their father. William is grieving his old life, everything that he thought he had or would be. And he's also grieving his older cousin, whom he, per Lord John, looked up to very much.
and Jane. He's still not over
and
Jane.
Jane, he's not. And that worries me very much when he vowed to do whatever is necessary for Trevor, to take care of Trevor and to take care of her. I worry that he is having a complex that he now has to save every young woman he comes in contact with because he wasn't able to save Jane. And that very much worries me. And I don't know if this is like the beginning of a love story or the beginning of a fling or the beginning of whatever. I have no idea. But I'm just very worried for him that he's having a complex over the fact that he could not save
Well, I
Jane.
think that's a common theme that's being passed down from Jamie. Jamie did the same thing when we think he killed the prostitute in the brothel back when he was with Ian in France. He killed her, and from there forward, this has been a theme, and I think that's the reason why one of the reasons why he was drawn to Claire as well, to protect her.
Yeah.
And Leary even in the Great Hall. Like, so if he takes that on as his role.
Yeah.
So,
like father, like son.
I could see it.
Did
The
you all
apple don't fall too far.
Did you all catch that Lord John asked him about Richardson?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to make sure. So
Yes.
let's go back to the Ridge and talk about Hello the House. See, this is why I say I fucking hated it, because that should have been
100%.
That scene deserved
so
much more. I didn't even get emotional. I mean,
Me
the
either.
thing that made me the most emotional
second watch. I did.
Was seeing Mandy carry her little doll.
Mm-hmm.
That made me more emotional than any of it. And just kind of the way they cinematically filmed that with everyone walking ahead of her, that was very beautiful.
Look,
however, the fact that
I think you have both told us that it was like a huge scene in the books, that it was just written to be this
here's what I'm gonna
moment in the books.
It's a way bigger event, and they have taken out all of the magic. So here's the bigger thing, like for people that are like, oh, Mandy's super powerful, you have no idea in the show that she's super powerful. You just don't. There is like, you can pick out maybe like one or two things. Everything else that's been left out, you would never know.
Including this scene.
This is massive.
I had always thought, and for me personally, it was her connection with Jim. And I think I've always thought there's more to Mandy, or something is going to happen or whatever. Like, I don't know. Anyway, what made me think that is when they were looking for Jim, and Jem couldn't seem to communicate with her or know where she was, but she knew exactly where he was. Like, turn right, turn left, go straight, go here, go there. She knew exactly where he was, and he didn't seem to have that. He was just like running, right?
Yeah.
So
she led them to Roger also.
Yes. And that's when I was just like, there's something about her that is extremely powerful. So I kind of picked up on that, but I agree, like, not everybody would, you know.
It's massive what they've left out. Massive.
Wow. But I think I like the scene, but I think I would have liked it a lot more if they hadn't have spoiled that they were going back to them.
Yeah,
which I get.
That's true.
That was, I understand that was a huge teaser, right? To say war is coming and James Fraser dies in it. I get that. But you've also spoiled the plot point that Bree and Roger and the kids are making it back to Claire and Jamie. So I was I liked the scene, but I was underwhelmed on the surprise of it all, because I knew it was coming.
It was coming.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good scene, but it wasn't as impactful as it should have been, I guess is what I would say.
Huge.
Okay. I'm excited to read it in the book.
You'll be thrilled. You'll be thrilled.
Yeah, I loved it. I just... Roger that, baby. Roger that. Hello, the house. I loved it. I loved it so much. I did. And I know that that's not exactly how it plays out in Diana's mind in the books. But I think it was, like, cinematically, it was beautifully done, I thought, especially with seeing Mandy's doll in the beginning. And that for me really does, as you were just talking about Mandy, I wonder if she also was the one to help kind of steer them toward where Jamie and Claire is. I know that they have the letters, they read the letters, maybe they knew where Jamie and Claire were going to be, but I wonder if Mandy, because we saw Mandy's doll first, if she was the one who kind of steered them to where they needed to go, similar to how she really steered Brianna and Jem to where they needed to go when they were meeting up with Roger and Big Daddy Buck in 1739. I just wonder about it because there really is a lot left out of the show about her. We really don't know. So I'm curious to learn more about her in the books. And I'm also curious if we're going to get any more magic about her in the show. I wonder how far they're going to go, if at all.
I'm processing that. Sorry.
Maybe I said something right.
I will say that my issue with that scene has nothing to do with the books at all. And at all. It's just, it felt underwhelming. And maybe what Katie is saying is true. Maybe because we all knew it was happening.
Yeah.
But it also felt like it deserved more than 5 minutes. And even the conversation when they were all at the table felt a little flat. And even the presentation of Jamie's book felt a little flat. It just didn't really invoke the emotion that I felt it should.
Yeah, I think for me, Hello the House is a big deal to me because Jamie taught Roger that that's how you make your presence known outside of someone's house, letting them know you come in peace. I think that there was a conversation about that. And I wonder, I don't know if there's anything more about that in the books, but that was just a really meaningful thing for me that really bonded Jamie and Roger together. So I don't know if there's a conversation about that more, more deeply in the books, but I loved hearing him say that. I just wish there was more.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think Katrina did a phenomenal job.
Oh, she did in every
her facial expressions upon seeing Bree
and Sam too.
And Sam too, because he was just shocked. But Katrina, she says so much with her eyes.
Yeah,
and I don't know, she's incredible, and that just shock, love, how is this possible thing? Like she did that all with just her facial expression, and it was. True. I thought that was a really beautiful moment.
She carried that scene. It should have been more climatic and longer. So
yeah.
And so speaking of which, she brings this stuff back. We've got the books. And anticlimatically, she hands over Soul of a Rebel, which is a history book. And then we learn that Jamie's name is in it, and it was interesting. It's interesting because the conversation between Jamie and Claire where he's asking, is Frank an honest man? And she replies, he's a historian. I don't know if all of you remember this, but back when we were doing the podcast episode about Frank, I brought that conversation up. And I talked about how when we were doing onions, nuts, and mushrooms, that it proved that Frank was a nut and he would never change because everything that he did was rooted in being a historian. And that book, all it is a history book. And it furthers my belief. It furthers my belief of how fucking shitty Frank is.
Is it really just a history book, though? Like,
yes, it is.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
I wonder what is the point. I believe you.
I just don't think it is.
Like, and my thought is, what was the point of writing that? And I don't know if that's something we find out, but I think it was almost
of just
like
telling them.
Yeah, I think it was almost like a fuck you to Claire. Like, oh, by the way, he dies. Sucks to suck. That's
exactly right. That's exactly right. Because why wouldn't you tell them? Why would you put it vaguely in a history book that was published and you knew after they were already gone? Why would you do that? And here's the biggest thing. There is something that is huge that happens around that book at the same time that has completely been omitted from the show that would make that book make so much more sense to you guys.
Oh.
And it's a huge, confusing direction that they're going to take it now. And
Mhm.
him dedicating it to Deadeye makes sense
I was
when
so
you have.
confused.
Well, that's his code name for Brianna because she's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
And he teaches
Oh.
her.
It's a
and that was
military
his
term.
and that
Mhm.
was his code name. So he it's basically his way of saying this is for Brianna, not for you, Claire.
See, I didn't know. I was trying to I was like, who is Deadeye? And I figured it was Claire, Brianna, so I don't know, but that totally makes sense, that connection, because she's such a sharp shot.
I've always felt like that book was written as a love letter to Brianna, and it's so heartbreaking to hear that it really could have been a big fat juicy fuck you to Claire and Brianna. It's heartbreaking.
Well,
So
what
what
made
makes
you
you
think that?
Because I think I just see Frank very differently. I see him as a man who, I don't want to get back into the big onions, nuts, and mushrooms conversation, but I just see him as a very layered person, and that things are not always what they seem, and that he was probably very hurt by the fact that he desperately wanted his family, but couldn't keep his family. And he loved Brianna. He really did.
Sure.
He loved her. And that maybe he wrote this book to her as a love letter to say, I couldn't keep you safe. I couldn't protect you from everything. I'm giving this to you so that you can educate yourself. And in a way, I'm still trying to protect you, even if I'm not physically there to do it.
Okay, so even if that's the case, because who knows? And in particular, we have no idea how the show is going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that it would have been better for him to just tell her all these things? Because he had absolutely no clue if she would ever even get that book. At that point, he didn't even know if it was going to be published. It didn't get published until after he died, and they only agreed to publish it after he died. So,
and that's my thing with Frank, is because he's known since Brianna was very, very young that Claire goes back. Because he saw that picture, the Molly,
Correct.
Isn't it Molly
Correct.
picture?
Mm-hmm.
He saw that painting.
She was like 8 or 9.
He saw her in there. Yeah. So he's known this whole entire time. And while part of me thinks that he didn't tell her because he was hoping he could change history, I think it's more likely that he kept it from her because he just didn't want her to go back. Like, selfishly, he didn't want her to. And he wanted to try to work on their marriage, because Brianna was still very young at this point.
I agree.
And then I think the longer it went on and she just wasn't going to love him back, I think it became, okay, well, fuck you then, because I've spent all these years loving you and only you, and this is how I'm repaid. Like, I've been a father to your daughter, and I feel bad for him. I do. I don't like Book Frank. You know that. But like Show Frank, I do feel bad for him.
Me too.
But it doesn't mean that he always made the right choices.
Look,
honestly,
no, he didn't.
In a video that I commented on in 2023, where I said, and I'm like, where is this coming from? But all the Outlander content is getting repushed. And I said right in it, I really love Show Frank. And he did. He got the shit end of the stick here.
Agreed.
He really, really loved her,
Yes.
as flawed as he was.
Yes.
But look, having been the only person in this group that's divorced, terrible things happen in divorce. You go from loving that person with your entire heart to wishing awful things upon them. And that's exactly what's happening here. He's mad. He's angry. To him, this person doesn't exist. Even though he knows he's a historical person, he still can't wrap his head around the magic of it. Like, what do you mean? And here is this living, breathing person that's a reminder to him every day that he loves, that it's still not his kid. So the anger that comes through in a divorce or leading up to their divorce that never happened, he's angry.
So are you saying that he did this as a stab at Brianna? Is that what you're saying?
No. So, go ahead,
to Claire more so. Like, I knew all about this and I didn't tell you. and I've held on to all of this information. You're going to stay here with me in the future, and I'm not going to let you go back there. Because really, if she figured out that Brianna could have traveled, they could have just up and left.
So I want to say something on this. I feel that there's this. Go ahead.
Let me say this real quick. Looking at Ryan, and I've said this before, looking at my own son, who at this moment is a carbon copy of my ex-husband. He grew a mustache, and I'm like, shave it the fuck off right now. But I don't look at him and go, oh my God, there is not 1 ounce of anger that comes through. I got the best part of that other human being. Yeah. So there is not I shouldn't say there's not a parent, but in my experience, I look at my son and all I have is love for him, even though he's a carbon copy. And that's the same thing that Frank is looking at with Brianna. So he knows that's exactly what Jamie looks like, but he loves her regardless. And I don't want to I can't say anyway or regardless. You just love that person. Yeah. And that's what true love is. But it doesn't mean he's not going to be an asshole to Claire.
Yeah.
I want to say something on this, that I don't know where this narrative has kind of formed, and I'm not even just saying with us, that if we say we don't like Frank's actions, that negates the fact that we think he has an important role to say, because I get that a lot. But I do think Frank, first of all, I feel bad for Frank in both the book and the show. He really did get the shitty end of the stick, and I don't think he's a horrible person. I think he makes horrible decisions, and I don't like him. The book, I think he's kind of a shitty person. But there will never be a time where him not letting Brianna know the truth of who she was and not telling Claire and Brianna that her father was alive in the past will be okay. And even if he did write this book to Brianna, it's a history book, and it's a published thesis on his study on basically how Scots settled and how they kind of overtook America and fought in these wars, and what impact that had on history. So Jamie's in it because he's recording all the deaths and all the things that happen or whatever. I don't want to give all the, it's really not a big book thing, but it's really hard for me to talk about this without being able to talk about the other component on it, quite honestly. But there's just, you learn that Frank should have, could have, and really, really should have told Brianna and Claire about Jamie being alive and the danger that it would bring them. And he knew was coming, and he still did not tell them. Okay. So this book is so insignificant, other than there's a James Fraser that is mentioned. That's why I don't see it as a love letter to Brianna, because the other component that I'm talking about, I would say that's a love letter to Brianna. I would say that would be Frank's way of trying to guide her, help her, without giving the spoilers.
I just
so there is a component there.
Chapter.
Yes.
I just reread that chapter beforehand because with this whole episode has got me questioning my memory. It's still, to me, that's that chapter, not a love letter.
Agree. I shouldn't have said love letter. I still think could be perceived as more of, hey, I'm trying to give you information through this channel. But
yes.
I just, again,
there's nothing
I don't think
romantic
any of it,
about it. That's more what it is.
Yeah, I don't think any of it justifies, and I get, we really have to move on, I think, because honestly,
maybe I'm just romanticizing it because I love Frank so much, but
sure, but you also don't have, just don't have the components that we have, and you may feel very different about it later.
I might.
Hey, listen, there's something beautiful about seeing love and romance and everything. And that's what makes our podcast work, is we all see things differently.
It's true.
So,
but I want to ask a quick question, and then I promise we'll move on.
Okay.
Because you talked about Frank, all of you talked about Frank making the decision not to tell Brianna what he knew. But what would have been the implications if he had? Meaning, where would Roger fit into the story, being the one finding Jamie alive in Edinburgh in 1765 with the printing press? How might Frank, I'm just speaking out loud. It doesn't necessarily need to be answered. I'm just speaking out loud. How might Frank doing that have changed everything that was already predestined to happen in the way that it was supposed to happen, so that other people and other events could happen, right? I
have a simple answer.
Sometimes I feel like it happened that way because that's the way it's supposed to happen.
Sure.
That's the way she wrote it. That's how I see it. This is the story.
But I get what you're saying. I think that could apply to absolutely everything in the story, though.
Right.
It's all. And
what are
and
the
Claire
repercussions if one person changes how the entire story works?
Right, but it still doesn't change the fact that obviously it wouldn't be the same story, so there'd be nothing to talk about. But it doesn't. That's the whole point. Is we're supposed to feel that it was really shitty what he did, and Diana's going to come back and retcon him and say he was the hero, and he didn't cheat on Claire even though you got a confession.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you.
he made a whole grave for him. Like he put a headstone up.
But like that's the point. We're supposed to feel conflicted, and she will come back and retcon him. But you're still sometimes the hero can be the bad guy too. And Frank is not a good guy, and I'm telling you guys, he is not a good guy. But he could still love his daughter and want to help, but still not be good intentioned, because there's never going to be a day where I don't care what happens. There will never be a day, and you guys are going to read book 9, and you're going to find out the real story here, and you're going to say, "Oh, Doreen, you know what? Yes, Frank is not a good dude."
Probably. And the day that happens, I will be the first one to say what I think, but I just don't think that way right now.
Listen, I know Book Frank's not a good guy, so I'll be like, yep.
Yeah, so but what I'm saying is we can still, in the show, he still could be something really great, and we can separate that.
Right.
And look, this is what makes a good show and a good book. It's that you're not just reading flat pages. I don't know how else to say it. You are meant to realize that in everybody there's good and bad, and we are good people making bad decisions, or we're bad people and we randomly do a good thing. It's life. So
polarizing characters make for good stories.
Correct. And we're talking about it.
Yep. Frank is polarizing.
Yes.
So
who did we leave out?
Anything else? Oh, what about I think we talked about the hanging of the loyalists, and who do you guys think did that?
Yeah, you mentioned it briefly in passing, related to, I think, Cunningham.
Oh no, I mean, I was just saying, I think I said it after, like, we were introduced to Cunningham, and then they're walking through the woods and they see the hanging loyalists.
Yes.
With
George Rex for King George.
And look, it's similar to, it was on there. It's similar to the hanging of the Jacobites in the earlier season, where they come across the bodies on the side of the road on the crucifixes with Dougal when they were collecting the rent. So it is kind of like cinematically meant to make you think of that as well, because here we are, history repeating itself.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's important because Jamie was fighting for that side.
Right.
And, then Brianna looks and she was like, why would they do this? And he was like, there's bad people on both sides. Like there's, it's not one side is good and one side is bad. There's, bad people on both sides. There's good people on both sides.
Yeah.
So it's just,
war
is a terrible business.
It is.
It really is. And history does repeat itself. I didn't catch until they explained it, the carving on the forehead. I'm not much, and you guys know I'm not a history buff. I don't really know what these things mean. So when they said it, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Where is this going?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea who that would be, especially with it being on Fraser land, like on Fraser's Ridge.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Last but certainly not least, I think we all can agree that the Faith storyline is horrible, right?
Oh my God.
Didn't like it.
Because how are you going to tell me, I'm going to cry and I'm not even emotional, that Claire went back to her own time. Jamie was at prison. He didn't get to raise William. He didn't get to raise Bree. Neither one of them got to raise Faith. And then she got brutally murdered on a ship. and their grandchildren got raped and sold to a brothel and were raised in a
Right.
brothel. What kind of storyline is that?
And William slept with his niece. Like,
Yeah,
Horrible
I mean,
shit. That's
I
terrible.
I still don't think it's Jamie and Claire's faith.
I don't either.
I still don't think it is. And-
this is the hook to get you
yeah,
in.
and
Agreed.
one of
Yeah.
the reasons why we've all felt that way for a very long time, but specifically in this episode when Vasquez, I think that was his name, Vasquez, the gentleman that I'm not even going to call him a gentleman, the trash that Jamie was talking to, when he was talking about the mother, right, like the mother of the two girls, he never once mentioned Faith's red hair. He
Oh,
never
that's
once
what I thought. I
mentioned
thought
her.
that
I was
too.
like, right away to me, I'm like, Claire, baby girl, snap out of it. It's not your daughter. Like, this
Yeah.
man, you
Yeah.
know, maybe it's a woman with the same name, Faith. It could totally be coincidental. Absolutely.
Or it's just a locket that says faith. Like
Right.
you would
Yeah.
have
You
one
and
that
I have
says
talked
love.
about that, Jenny,
Yep.
talking about, you know, religious, you know, it
Meanings,
could have been
faith,
grace,
hope, and
it
love.
could have been
Yes.
faith, it could have been
Yeah.
peace, it could have been
because that's what
anything.
yeah. I thought about that too, because like when she was born, she had red hair, like Claire saw it. So like, why wouldn't she
And that
say?
dude
I
said
know Jamie
nothing.
told her not to talk, but like she could have been like, "Well, Jamie, make sure you ask about her red hair. Like, what color hair did she have?"
Right,
Like,
but he didn't even
you
say
know.
anything about her hair. He spoke about Fanny's golden curls.
golden hair.
He
Yep.
did that.
Mhm.
And then he talked about the older daughter being
Yeah.
of age and worth something. And then the mother, he never mentioned her red hair. It can't possibly be Faith in my
True,
mind.
because he would have said she had fiery red
Yeah.
hair
Right.
and she was
Yeah.
tall or
Correct,
whatever.
correct.
And look,
Yeah.
as the person who wasn't opposed to this, and you all know that, like I was like, oh, that would be a really interesting storyline. Like you said, Doreen, it's a brutal storyline, unnecessary. But like, I do think if they do connect it, one, I won't really be happy at this point. And two, I think they're leaning way into Blood of My Blood. And that storyline to me is already a mess. And if they mess up the ending of Outlander to just link the two shows, that's where I'm going to lose my shit.
Here's my question too, is let's just say, why aren't they applying the logic that Faith was a stillborn, and even if Master Raymond brought her back to life, she's not remembering that song to teach to her babies.
Right.
Are we supposed to
Right.
assume Mother Hildegard or Raymond heard that song and then sang it? It's such a weird.
I really don't see Master Raymond being
And Mother
like-
Hildegard wouldn't know it. So
And
like,
seriously,
you know.
why would all of a sudden Mother Hildegard, who's dedicated her life to helping the sick and the poor,
Yes.
suddenly be this evil villain? Like
Right.
I have
Doesn't
my own
make
theory
any
on
sense.
nuns,
Who
but that's
also
another.
baptized and
Right.
gave Faith a name
And a
to
burial.
ensure that she could be buried in the cemetery
Correct.
at Les Hôpitaux. Right.
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 So
That
that
doesn't
doesn't
make any
track.
sense. And then to paint Master Raymond as a villain, which I think for certain conversations, it maybe can be justified because Doreen, I know you've talked, and Jenny has also talked before about how Master Raymond is willing to do whatever is necessary to keep the storylines going. But for Claire to question his intentions when he has really only ever looked out for her, taken care of her, tried to protect her, it just didn't make any sense for her to be questioning Mother Hildegard's intentions and Master Raymond's intentions. It didn't make sense.
and then move on from it 5 minutes later. That's what I'm saying
Right.
when I
Let's
say
make
it's
cupcakes.
it's rushed. It's so
Crazy.
rushed. If you are going to introduce storylines, you got to let them develop. And I
Yeah.
get that we only have 10 episodes and it's the last season, so I don't know, maybe don't introduce that then. But they
Right.
just want us to all be talking about it and
Yeah.
Or make the
Well,
episodes
and
like
I-
2 hours each. Give us more time per
Yeah.
episode.
I have hope because Matt said something along the lines of the faith thing will be addressed in the first episode, but it won't be resolved. So
Okay.
I see that as being their misunderstanding that this, I still have hope
It
that
has
they're
to
not
be.
Fixed.
going
Well,
to
Yeah.
do this.
We have the scene of Fanny's sitting on the log and Jamie and Claire are there. And my hope is that they are.
Oh, with the cairn. Yeah.
Yeah. Like understanding that as they pull more information from her, they realize that it's not a relation. And
yeah.
Again,
Right.
like what happened in the church? Like, why didn't you ask her right fucking
Yeah.
there? Like those are the kind of things that to me are stupid. Like, you should have figured that conversation out.
And Claire did, like, they made it a point for Claire to mention that Fanny doesn't remember much. She's like, it's a shame Fanny doesn't remember more. But I wonder if they could just be like, hey, did your mom have bright red hair?
Right.
She could have been like, no, like she has brown hair, whatever, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We saw them running to their mother in season 7 part 2. She had dark, like darker hair. It was not bright red hair. So there's definitely clues there that are going to tell us it is most likely not Jamie and Claire's daughter Faith. It is someone else, either with the same name or the word is on the locket for whatever the reason is. The clues are there, and I don't want this being dragged out so far into season 8 because there's so many other things that have to happen.
There's so many other things.
There's so many beautiful storylines that could play out. And I don't know. I went into this trying to manage my expectations, but I don't feel good coming out of this first episode.
Yeah, same. I did get upset with Fanny, though. Like, I really felt empathy for her when they reintroduced her. And I was like, oh, that's making me tear up, knowing that she's lost her sister and now she's coming and here they are. And this is your bedroom. Like, that was really special. Broke me. Like, that was like, this is so incredibly sad. All she knows is a brothel. And
she was like, all to myself.
To myself, I know.
I know.
And
That was
Jamie's like, I'll build you a wee chair so you can read books. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was really very sweet. Oh, and the book that she was like, it's like a painting. It's
Good Night Moon.
That
was good. So special to see that. So special.
That was good.
Isn't it?
Part.
It's a different book in the book, isn't it?
It's Green Eggs and Ham.
Green Ham. That's what I thought.
It's Green Eggs and Ham, not Good Night Moon. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, So
I love that she gave Jamie Lord of the Rings, though.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's book accurate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
book accurate?
The Merc.
Book
yes,
accurate.
that's true too.
That was so
Jamie. Jamie saying that he's a terrible author.
Eating your own shit.
Yeah. I would hope you know not to eat your own shit.
Oh my gosh.
That was good.
Okay.
So yeah, there were some great moments. There really were.
There was.
It's just so hard. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Can I tell my story of brief embarrassment from the premiere?
Yes.
Can I share that here? Okay.
Yeah.
So, obviously we heard Tobias Menzies' voice in the episode very briefly.
Yes.
And
it's not funny, but it is.
It's not funny, but it is. When I heard his voice, I wasn't listening to the words that were being said. I listened to his voice and I thought we were getting a flashback to Frank. So I screamed in the premiere, yes! While Blackjack Randall says his sentence in the episode.
And everybody else was like, oh, and
I'm like,
not at her. Not at her, just at the scene.
And then I realized very quickly, oh shit, that wasn't Frank. That was Blackjack.
I looked at her and I was like, what are you
But you know what?
Oh my gosh,
I was embarrassed for a fleeting moment, and honestly, I don't even know that many people were even paying attention to that.
I don't think anybody really did.
Everyone was enthralled.
Literally, everyone was like, oh, and then there's this, yes.
I will also say, when we did get Hello the House and we saw everyone, I did scream, "Where's Buck? What happened?"
She did.
To Buck? Because again, just like you guys said, he just falls off the face of the earth.
He's in the preview.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Did you guys see that in the preview for next? He's fighting Rob Cameron, so I'm very.
that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. And I did have that in my notes here to see. You guys, even though you're not there in the book, I know you're past it, Liz. You're not there yet, but we know the Montauk Five exists.
Yes.
I think Rob Cameron is one of the Montauk Five.
Oh, interesting.
So
I love that.
Wow.
Go back and read that very small snippet,
Not the
Liz.
OG 5. Not the OG 5.
Yeah. That's
You
one
think
of the
he's
names.
JoJo?
No, his name is Rob. It's literally Rob.
Oh, I know who you think it is. Okay.
Yeah. And even
Wait,
if it's
from
not
Bruno from Fiery Cross?
No, the next one. It's in the very beginning
A Breath of Snow and Ashes?
A Breath of Snow and Ashes. And look, if he's not one of them, I still do think he's I don't think we've seen the end of him.
Also, I'm now seeing that, and I'm wondering if Percy Beauchamp, is working with Richardson, because in the sneak peek we got for this season, Richardson is the one that knocks Lord John out with a gun. So I was like,
On that note,
Yes.
On
I
that
think-
note, see you next week.
yes, because I can't say anything. I don't trust myself.
Exactly.
And we're at almost 2 hours. So,
Wow.
gosh, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
so
Amazing.
I think,
I don't think
we
it
had
says
some
an hour.
second recording.
Oh, okay.
So we had some polarizing topics and opinions today. But so for everyone listening, we do plan to, for the next 10 weeks, have an episode drop every Friday where we're going to review the episodes. So keep tuning in for that.
Oh, am I supposed
Buckle
to say
up,
something?
everybody. Buckle up.
You're not kidding.
Buckle
Because,
up.
and look, I don't want to end it like, this fucking sucks. It doesn't. It's just, I think once we get the whole thing, I want to do like a gigantic rewatch from the beginning
Yes.
to the
Me too.
end to really absorb the entire story
Yes.
that is out there. I love seeing every single one of these characters show their faces on screen. I really do. Look, we're all so invested in this story. So it's
Very
too.
invested.
it's a lot of mixed feelings, but in the end, we really do love it. So on
do.
that
And we
note-
have hope. We're
Yes,
hopeful.
yes,
I'm very hopeful. I just think they were trying to introduce a lot of stuff and maybe should have slowed it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt like I really hated the episode. But I'm very pleased with the storylines that they're going to be
yes,
tackling based on what we watched. So I am happy about that with the exception of Faith. So
Mhm.
hated the episode, but have a lot of hope that the season's
That's
actually going to be
exactly it.
good. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right,
Hope
so
and
find
faith.
us-
Haha.
Hope and faith. I really did enjoy the episode. I didn't necessarily enjoy the faith storyline, but I did enjoy the episode. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah.
All right. For now, find us all on our socials. We have at Outlander Unhinged on TikTok and on Instagram. And you can follow us on YouTube as well. We all have our individuals at the Gen X Quilt Co. We've got Dinafash Sassenach. We've got at Katie J. And we've got at Doreen's Place too. So you can find us across YouTube. What else? YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and all the places.
All the
Yep.
places.
And make sure you keep tuning in for more deep dives and wild theories.
Until next time, we will see you in the space between.